Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Johnny.
Hi, Terry. How you doing?
Not so bad, mate. You've been very patient tonight, sitting around over there.
I've enjoyed being in it. It's a brilliant atmosphere for a Monday night in a pub like this. This is just really good.
Has it stopped raining yet, Johnny?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Is that right, Johnny? You came down on your motorcycle tonight, all the way from the smoke.
I go everywhere on a motorbike now because the traffic's so bad, and I just love riding a bike. It's just such good fun.
Well, it's a braver man than I am, because I packed myself with 4 transits all round me, Johnny. Let's explain, Johnny, what this is all about tonight really is that there's a lot of people here, as you know, in a showcase that are planning to get into show business. It's a hard track. I think you will agree.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Thanks, Johnny. Well, we've done this interview 1,000 times before. Well, the thing is that to get through all the crap and the shit that people throw at you, you've got to work very hard. So this is one of the people that's going to tell us just how we get it. There's a little set list of questions here, in case you wonder what's written down. It's not our lunch menu. These are the questions we're going to ask Johnny. If I was you, I'd listen up, otherwise you're not going to hear what's going on over there. Johnny, what made you choose your particular line of business, the career that you went into? Why did you wake up one morning and say, this is what I'm going to do?
It was basically music. I love music. And xxxx were just starting in Birmingham. And I used to watch the DJ doing the job, and I used to see the guy who owned the pub would bring up free drinks. The girls would constantly come up and ask for records. And I thought, what a great job. And you get paid for it as well. So I just thought that night, some way, somehow, I'd make my living, involved with music.
I'm sorry to say this, but how old was you when that thought came into your mind?
I was about 21.
Terrible question now. How old are we now?
I'm 49 now.
49? Don't look bad for 49. Whoa. Johnny, of course, the question is going to be on all the girls' lips. Married? Single?
I've been married once. I was married for 17 years, had 2 great kids, got divorced, got married a second time, and it lasted about 5 minutes.
So your marriage is like a no-no, really? How did you get started, Johnny? I mean, what made you, where'd you get the money from?
I was working selling cars in a garage in Birmingham, and I just passed my 21st birthday, and I thought, if I don't do something now, I'll still be flogging cars, when I'm 50. So a new radio station, there were pirate stations on the air, and Radio Luxembourg DJ came to Birmingham, and I asked him how I could get a job on the radio. So he said, go down to London, go to Radio Luxembourg and see this guy called Mr. Lay, and ask for audition. So that's what I did. And I went down to London, I was auditioned as a DJ, and he said, you're completely useless, you'll never be any good, and you might as well forget it. So I left there, and I got on the train back to Birmingham, and I thought, for about 5 minutes, I thought, well, that's it. At least I know I'll carry on selling cars. And then about 10 minutes later on the train, I thought, well, bollocks to him, what's he know? The one thing that separates those who make it from those who don't, the ones who make it are the ones who've got that feeling inside that they've got something. And a lot of the things you have to overcome is nerves, insecurity. You have to be very brave to go out on stage and do what these people did tonight, And it's not easy. And a lot of people would rather be in any situation than that. And also there will be people who will say to you, you're no good and you're not going to make it. And I think you have to survive those knocks. And if, you get a difficult time, you just have to say to yourself, I still believe in myself. I still think, I've got something. And just keep on going and not give up. Not give up, basically.
Self-confidence. Good, hard, tough exterior.
When I was at school, I was no good at the book side of things, and I wasn't really good on the games field. And at that school I was at, if you're good at one or the other, you're okay. But I wasn't any good at either. So they really made me feel like I was completely useless, and I'd just end up sweeping factory floors. So I think it was because of school sort of saying you're no good that I thought, when I left school, I thought, I'll show you bastards, and I'll find something that I can do that I can be good at. And what made it for me was pirate radio, Radio Caroline, the ships they had out in the North Sea in the 60s. And that enabled somebody who'd never been on the radio before to go out there and have a job and have a go at it, And that's really what changed things for me. But, I mean, the one thing that made it happen was that one day the garage manager said, You can't do two jobs. I was DJing in the evening and selling cars during the day. You've got to choose which one's it to be. I'll give you 2 weeks to think about it. And I said, I don't need 2 weeks. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be a disc jockey. So he said, you're completely nuts. And I walked out the job that night. And the next day, I read about a new pirate station, called up the newspaper on Monday, found out where these people were, went down on the Tuesday, and I got hired. And that would never have happened if I hadn't had the balls to sort of say, well, to hell with this job, I'm going to have a go at something else. So you need to be in the right place at the right time. You need luck. But you do need that determination of thinking, I can do this, you know.
You need a lot of balls, as you say. I mean, you've got to say, I'm going to do it. That's the end of it. But tell me, Johnny, I mean, like, there must be people out there now that thinks, did you ever get any help from your parents, from your friends, from your family?
Not really. I mean, when I walked out this garage job, this car sales job, my old man said to me, you're not going to hang around the house bumming money off your mother, you know, that usual thing. What are you going to do? So I said, well, I'm going to either hitchhike around the world or be a pirate radio DJ. He didn't think too much to that reply. So I didn't really get any help from my folks at all. They were really against the whole thing. And it was about 2 years later when I got a job on Radio 1. I went up one weekend to see my folks, and my old man, he said to me, I suppose you're earning more in a week than I'm earning in a month now. So I said, probably, Dad, yeah, probably. And it was only then that he sort of said, well, I take my hat off to you, you made it. I didn't think you could, you know. Well,
I mean, you've proven them wrong, certainly by now. Peaks and troughs is my next question. I mean, like, ups and downs. I mean, like, there must have been times when you thought, bloody hell, you know, where am I going to get over this lot? Did you have many peaks and troughs, as they say?
Yeah, you do. I mean, the bad things that happen to you in your life, I think, happen to you, you know, for a reason. And if your whole of your life was really good and smooth and everything went great, you'd never really grow as a person. So I think the bad things come along in order to see if you can find the strength to go through them, you know. And then after that, you're a better person because of it. And I think when the bad times are happening and you're getting a real downer, you just got to say to yourself, it's not going to last forever. You know, I gave up Radio 1 in 1976 and went to America. And I eventually got fired from the radio station. And at one point, I was looking after my son. I'd separated from my wife. So she was looking after my daughter. She went back to England. I was looking after my little boy who was about 3. And at one stage, I was completely homeless. I got nowhere to live. And we were sleeping in I had an old 1966 Chevrolet station wagon. And I had to find a quiet street at night that I could park, that we could sleep it in, so the cops wouldn't find me. And then take my son. We used to go to 7-Eleven in the morning, and I'd buy him a yogurt or something for breakfast and take him to school. And I said, whatever you do, don't tell them at school that you're homeless, because I was really worried they'd take him into care, you know. So that was one of the low moments. But you get through it. You know, you just say, what am I going to do? I could kill myself, you know. But I mean, that's a big waste of time. So you just got to keep on going and hope things get better, and they usually do.
So would you consider that one of your greatest hurdles to overcome? Just the fact that you were out, I mean, with a kiddie as well. I mean, it's not easy. It's bad enough if you're on your own, but if you've got a kiddie to look after, was that one of the times when you thought, I've really got to overcome?
And that was the toughest thing, really, was looking after a kid and trying to do a job as well. And I shared a flat with a bunch of people, and I had to try and find somebody who would babysit my son so I could go out and work as a DJ in the evening. So, you know, that was difficult times. But I mean, in this business, it's a very insecure business, and a lot of people who are in it would say to somebody who wants to be in it, don't do it. There's a million people out there trying to do the same thing as you. So if you want a smooth life and you want the same amount of money coming in every week, don't do this gig. The thing is, if you get like these people who come out here and they do something and it really works and they get a round of applause, you know, and they know the crowd has liked it, the feeling you get from that makes all the difficult things worthwhile, really. Yeah.
I mean, you say it makes things worthwhile, but looking back, did you ever feel like giving it all up? Did you ever think, oh, shit, I've had enough of this, I'm going to give it all up?
Yeah, loads of times. Loads of times. And then, you know, a little while later on, you'd think, no. Who wants to do a real job, you know?
Yeah, I mean, why should I give up? Looking back again, is there anything you would change? Something you thought, I wish I'd have done that instead of that? Anything at all?
I think it's on the personal side, really. It's after 17 years when I left my missus, my kids. that was the thing. I think maybe I should have worked harder at trying to make the marriage work, because I missed out on a lot of years of my kids growing up, and that's one of my regrets.
I'm in the same boat there, Johnny. I've done that. You worked so hard, and you look back, and the kids are already like 6'2", correct?
Yeah, right. Taller than I am now.
Johnny, my last question really, what would your advice to be to others here tonight trying to succeed? What would you tell them to do?
Don't expect it to be easy. Believe in yourself. And when the knocks come, find some way of just keeping going. That's it, really. I mean, on the first radio station I worked at, there was a guy who was a bingo caller who went out to have a go at being a radio DJ. And quite honestly, he wasn't any good. And after a while, he realized he was no good, and he went back to being a bingo caller. He just said one day, "That's it, I can't do this. I'm going." But at least he had a go, you know. And I think the saddest words is if you get to the end of your life and you say, "If only. If only I'd have had a go at that," you know. So if you feel that you've got some kind of talent and you think you could be successful, then for Christ's sake, just give it a go and overcome the difficult times. That's it, really.
So your advice really is you just have to be tenacious, just keep right way on, yeah? Hope you've listened up tonight, you people out there. What a great success story we've got. There's diplomas coming, but as soon as Johnny gets his diploma, no doubt he'll come back and show it off to us. He's going to become one of our favourite Success Story Society members. Ladies and gentlemen, from Radio 1, our best success story so far, Johnny Walker.